I describe myself as the barefoot woman from the cotton fields of Alabama. I grew up on a farm. I think I was about 13, maybe 13 years old, 14, before my mother brought us from the rural area to the city. Because at that time, back in those days, I'm an old lady, you know. I'm still 39 though. And the schools for black children only went to the 6th grade. And my mother and father, I guess they got a 4th or 5th grade or whatever it was back in their days, which was not much. But my mother didn't want us to have the kind of life that she grew up with on the farm and working and having nothing, no outlet, no vision, no anything. So she tried to get my father to come to the city, you know, where the schools went to the 12th grade. And he just couldn't see it. He was stuck on the farm. My mother was a good cook, so she went to the little city and she got a job cooking at a boarding school for a college there for young girls. And when my father saw that she wasn't coming back to the farm, I said, I guess we looked like tobacco roll. They loaded us up in that truck and wagon, and we went down the highway coming down to the city. We was about 10 miles from the city. And I said that to say this, there were so many people, some of the teachers helped us. I mean, you're talking about poor, we was poor, but we didn't feel like we was poor. We knew there was a lot of things we didn't have, but we had a loving family. My mother and father stayed together till he died. That was 60-something years, 70-something years. And then they got us enrolled in school. And the 3 of us finished college. And I think it was 5 of us finished high school. 5 of us finished high school. And 3 of us went to college. Then my older sister, she took a nurse training. And then my next sister that didn't have the opportunity to go, she went into real estate.
Oh, wow.
She took a course in that. That was after she came to Cincinnati.
Okay. So you have a pretty big family then. I mean, your brothers and sisters aren't with you anymore, but you have nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Yeah. You have a very large family.
Well, that's where it ends.
Yeah.
And I said, thank God that somebody had some children. My mother was so disappointed because she liked a big family. And she wanted all of us to have 8 or 10 and didn't have. And she only had 2 kids that had children. My brother, Teresa, Dad, he had 3. And my older sister had 2. And one got killed in Korea in the army. So my mother was disappointed that all of us didn't have 10 or 12 children like she had. Because at that time people was having, you know, big families.
That was normal.
It was normal to have big families.
Yeah.
But she was so disappointed that we didn't have 10 children like she had.
You were a school teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you taught here most of the time, though?
Yes, I taught 10 years in, excuse me, in Alabama before I came to Cincinnati. And I taught 22 years here in the greater Cincinnati area.
Okay. And that's what you went to college for? Be a teacher? And
No, I really took home economics. I went to Alabama A&M.
Okay.
Small college in Huntsville, Alabama. But I couldn't get a job when I came to Cincinnati in home. Well, home ec, that just kind of phased it out. So I did a retraining at UC. And I got my master's in elementary education. And most of my teaching was done in that area. 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. In the last 10 years, they had what was known as the ESEA program, where we worked with kind of slow children. I worked in that about 10 years.
Okay.
In my 22 years here in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I've taught on practically every grade level. Every grade level. And just about, well, back in September, I went to my high school, their high school, 50th. Can you believe that I taught kids they had their 50th anniversary?
Wow.
But practically everyone had gone on to hire. One of the young ladies that I taught in the 10th grade biologist, she went to New York, and I think she graduated from Harvard. And she has a school that she started. It's a nursery school there that's out of this world. They all did something, and I was so proud that I had a little bit to do with talking to those kids. And that was just about 2 months ago, but it was lovely.
So you're working on the next Heritage Day event in May.
Yes.
What all do you have to do for that?
Well, it's quite a bit. We try to get as many people involved. Churches, schools, sororities, fraternities, block club, neighborhood club, just ordinary people. Because it started, I'll just give you a background of how we started the Heritage Day on the Square. When the city had that Bicentennial Celebration in '88, And it seemed like that we were being left out as African Americans. I was working, my organization was with another group, but I was not head of it. And after about 6 or 7 months, I kept asking when they were going to do something that was going to involve, all of us. But they never did. So finally, at the last, I just broke away from it and got a few people together, and that's how we started there on the square, to be sure that we'd be a part of the Bicentennial Celebration in '88.
Okay.
And after that, it was so good, everybody said, well, let's just keep it going.
Doing it.
But we did. We were just doing it for one occasion. But then later on, they said, well, other groups is having, that history and culture. Why can't we keep ours going? So we have. And this will be the 20th year. Wow. Now, the Black Family Reunion, it's big. Everybody knows about the Black Family Reunion. They started a year after I started there on the square. And one of the members out of the Clear Blue Sky, we said, one of the women of the year, and every year they have the older ones to come, the other former ones to come to a free dinner. So she and I was at the same table. And out of the Clear Blue Sky, she said, I guess we patterned our day after your day. I said, no, but I thought you did. I said, it was so much like it, but I didn't have a monopoly on, She said, yeah. So after you had yours, so we patterned ours after yours. Yeah. But the Black Family Reunion is going real fine now.
Yeah.
But she told me out of the Clear Blue Sky that we patterned our day after yours. After you had such a big day that day, we decided we'd have something.
Well, that's actually quite a compliment, isn't it?
One of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the best. So, in a small way, I have made a difference in a very small way, but not as much as I would like to. I've always been active in civic work and community work and things like that. So it just comes naturally for me. And I've just about worked out now, though I'm pretty tired.
What do you think about the Elderly Services Program? I know it helped a friend of yours, and it helped her be able to stay at home instead of having to go to a nursing home. I know you said she had to go there eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I really appreciate it.
How long have you lived here?
Oh, almost 50 years. I came out here and, let me see, was it 68, 69? I think it was 69. But anyway, I've been out here almost 50 years, something like that. Yeah. There are still a few neighbors that was here when I came across the street, but so many of them, some of us died, some moved, some went to live with children, all like that. But we have about 5 houses that was here when I came. I came shortly after. The house across the street, they were here. And we're a good neighbor. We look out for each other. But that big building there, they turned it into apartments. I don't know those people too well. They're Section 8 and they come and they go. But for the most part, we have still about 5 houses on this line that were very friendly. They've been friendly, with each other for years. So I feel quite at home, with my neighbors. And the ones next door, they are very good too. He cuts my grass and he won't take a penny. He rakes the leaves. He does all the little chores around the yard. So I have some very good neighbors on both sides.
Do you have a birthday coming up?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10 days. December the 25th.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
That's a special birthday.
Yes, it's ma'am. Now, besides feeling, a little frail, I feel the same way, I have some of the same ideas. I just can't work as long and as hard as I did. Like I told you, that one age don't fit all, Some 60-year-old people act one way, some 80-year-old people act another way. But when I was 8, I guess I was still jumping rope and climbing trees.
Yeah.
I have been active all my life, because I grew up on the farm. And when you grow up, you work all your life, all you know to do, and, you get strong, out there in the field and everything, in the good sunshine. So my generation is really a pretty good generation. I guess it's been about 3 years ago, I went to the doctor, and he looked at my chart, and he looked at me, then he looked back at my chart. He said, how old are you now? He looking at me, And I told him, he said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. He said, nurse, he called her nurse. Nurse, come here. Guess this lady's age. And then he felt my hand, and she don't have any wrinkles, and he made me feel so bad. He's feeling my cheeks, with my hands.
Couldn't figure that out. How you got to
he
that age without wrinkles.
I guess it's about 5 years ago. But I don't know. I tell people when they ask me what's my secret, I said, forget self. Forget about self. The years come, the years go, and I'm doing so many things for other people. First, my family. I spent a number of years, with my family. I gave them all in all. And then after that, now I'm giving the community all in all. So I don't even think about myself. Mine is what I can do for you, somebody else's children. I don't even think about myself when I get up. What can I do today? What program do I have? How can I get people involved? And right now I'm trying to get the people involved to build a home for troubled young boys now.